Okay, hi everyone. Today's video is going to be super simple. Just going to show you how I mix up my pouring medium and also how I do my swipe colors because I need to do a little more of that. I need to make up some more of my white and black Amsterdam paints. So I got Floetrol out here because I use American Floetrol in my pouring medium. And I have a little scale. I'll try to do this backwards. But I also have a cup that I measure with, and on this side it has milliliters and liters, and on this side it has ounces. And so I'm going to go up to 24 ounces right here with the Floetrol, and then add in an ounce of the Gloss Varnish. And I'm going to mix up 1 ounce of this gloss gel medium with 3 ounces of distilled water to make it super liquidy. It's just going to look like skim milk almost. It's going to be so liquidy. And I'm going to use, that'll make 4 ounces of the gloss gel medium mixture, and I'll use 2 ounces of it. I'm going to make 2 cups, so I'll use 2 ounces of it in here with my Floetrol and varnish, and that'll make my pouring medium. So I'll show you guys how I do that. I'll just get started. So I have all my paints out. You're going to need a strainer like this one, or a little bit bigger, so that you can strain your Floetrol. Because they have little boogers in them. They're kind of gross. And I always have a couple of extra cups on hand just whenever I need to move the Floetrol, the strainer, off of here. I can put it into something else without wasting my Floetrol. So, okay, I'm going to go up to 24 ounces on this, which is right here. I'm going to set this aside. And I'll show you how I mix up the gel. This is my container that I put it in. It holds like, I think 28 ounces. I don't know what it says on the bottom. Let's see. 24 ounces is right here. So I'm pretty sure it's 32 ounces. And so I get, 27 ounces altogether of my mixture and put it in here. And I just store it until I need it. And I do strain it though before I use it. You should always do that. Once it sits, Floetrol ends up having nasty little stringy things in it that are just gross. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. This is just the cup that the extra is flowing into because I don't want to waste it ever. It's precious. Okay, so we're going to get our scale. I have it set to ounces. Put your cup on there and then hit your tare, T-A-R-E. You can't see it on mine because of all the paint, but it'll take it back to 0. It'll level it back out for you, and then you know exactly how much you're adding to your cup. So I'm going to put an ounce of this gloss gel medium. It's hard to see upside down. Okay, 53. 78. You go over a teeny bit, that's fine. So an ounce of that. I have some distilled water. When you're liquefying this, turning it into a liquid, you want to add the water really, really slowly and a little bit at a time. I mean like a tiny, this is super thick. And I don't know, it just doesn't break down well in the water if you add a lot of water at once. So I'm just going to add in 10 drops to start with and mix that in. Make sure I get it all off my spatula and off the sides and the bottoms. I'm just going to keep mixing it until I see no more lumps and it's all smooth. Really, really smooth. I'm just going to keep doing that. One, oops, that was a little more. Just a teeny squirt of water. You have to do that like 4 or 5 times until you get it all mixed in. It's getting pretty smooth, so we can add a little more water. Just a little squirt. Mix that in. Make sure you get your sides. Scrape your spatula. It's really starting to loosen up now and look more like, I don't know, less like a gel and more like just a thick paint. And then at this point, when you're just adding the water slowly, you want to just keep doing the same thing. Scraping your sides, making sure you get everything off your spatula so that you can get all of the thicker pieces broken up and mixed in with the water. So a little more water. It's not quite liquidy enough yet. Still sticking to my spatula. Still pretty thick. So I'm going to just keep going with adding small amounts of water when it's thick like that still, until it really starts to loosen up, and then you can add a bunch of water. Okay, so now, whoops, grab a paper towel. And I'll get the scale back out. And I always have an extra empty cup on hand so that you can take the weight out. So I'm going to hit tare again, just the TARE button. And that zeroes it out. So now I know exactly how much is in this cup. which is 1.48 ounces. So I'm going to go up to 2 ounces and stir it again. See how liquidy it is now? It's just like super milky. And that's how you want it. Still going to add a couple more ounces to this so it'll be even more liquid, but so now at this point you can just go ahead and add the rest of your water because it's definitely going to mix in. So let's see. 2 ounces. 3. 4. All right, we went over a little bit. That's okay. And just give that a stir. And so there's the gloss gel medium. Everything else is pretty much the way it needs to be. Okay, so this is at 24 ounces at the line. So I'm just going to add in till I get to 26. Can't see it from that side, sorry. Okay, there's 26. And then the gloss varnish. I'm going to add 1 ounce of that. My cat is being annoying in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She wants in, she wants out. This is her all day long. And I'm just trying to ignore her. But I'll be right back because I got to let her in. Ignoring her doesn't work. Okay. Then you want to get something to stir this with. I just use this, I think it's a spatula for spreading icing on a cake, but I just use it in here to stir my medium. I'm going to mix all that together. Kind of like you're mixing paint. You want to mix in the gloss varnish with the Floetrol. And the medium is really liquidy, so it takes a second to mix it all in. Okay, and I'll show you guys how I mix up my paints, and then I'll show you how I mix up my swipe colors. My cell activator is what most people call it. I usually call it my swipe color, but it's actually a cell activator. And I'll show you how to use the Floetrol. I just use a couple drops of it. It does not take very much of that. If you add it to your American Floetrol and then use that, the pouring medium that I use, because I can't speak for any other pouring medium, I just know what works for me, is my pouring medium. And sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. And some paint, Amsterdam paint. So I got Amsterdam oxide black and titanium white. And I mix these 1 part paint to 3 parts pouring medium, which I'll show you that. We'll go ahead and mix up the swipe colors because I need both of those. So just tear that back out. some things in the way over here. What is going on? There we go. Okay, put your cup on there. I'm going to make 5 ounce, well, 4 ounces, I guess, of my swipe color. So I'm going to put in 3 ounces. Actually, I'm just going to do like 2 ounces to start with. I just like to be precise. That way, whenever I go back, I know that I was right at 2 ounces or right around there. And I don't have to try to remember some crazy number like, oh, I was at 1.97 ounces. I'm never going to remember that. Okay, so I'm at 2 ounces on that. Get my paint. I'm going to start with white. Hopefully I don't end up with it all over me, because this does happen. And put an ounce of paint in there until it gets up to 3. If you go over, like I said, it's fine. Like going over a little bit is not going to hurt anything. And I'll just mix that up. And then I'll add my last ounce of the pouring medium after I get this paint mixed in here. Sometimes it's hard to mix the paints up if you have too much of your pouring medium and not enough paint. It's hard to get it to mix all the way through there. Okay, and just like I did with the gloss gel medium, I just go around the sides, make sure I have all my pouring medium mixed in, go around the bottom. Okay. And then I want to put 1 more ounce in here. Of my pouring medium. I'm just going to stir that in too. And I turn it while I stir it and just kind of like whisk the spatula. Go around the bottom a little bit, scrape your sides. Okay. And this is the consistency. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin. Use a trace of about 4. I guess if you're on the trace thing, I just pour out a little snake of it on top and count how long it takes for that to disappear. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost 5. Until it's flat and flush with the surface and I don't see it anymore. So this is probably the consistency that I would use for, it would be a little bit thinner for a Dutch bloom, but for a swipe or for a ring pour or an open cup pour or a flip cup or something like that, I would use this consistency. And if I was going to do like a swipe, I would use maybe just a little bit thicker. But if I was going to do a Dutch bloom, I would thin it out just a little bit more with some, just a few drops of water. Okay, so this is going to be my swipe color. So the next thing I have to add to that, and you want to shake everything that you use up. The next thing I have to add is Floetrol. And I use just a bamboo skewer or a chopstick, sorry. And I just dip in here and then drip 8 drops into my cup and then mix that in. And that just makes it behave like Australian Floetrol was in there. It's the thing that gives me all the lacing and cells that I get whenever I swipe. It's also really cool for like cell activation if you want to do an open cup pour or a flip cup and you want to have cells pop up in your design, then you can put some of this Penetrol in your colors that you're going to layer in your cup. Okay, so Penetrol, I just dip my skewer in there and see how it drips off. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm just going to drip 8 drops into the cup. Let's put this on this side so I can move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for good measure. Wipe this off really well. I don't know if you, this has, it says it's for oil, it's an oil-based paint additive. So I don't know what the oil is, but you can see it sitting on top right there. I'm gonna need this again in a second. I'll set this here. You can see the oil kind of sitting on top there where I dropped it. That's what makes it really cool. You just blend all that in there, and this does not act like silicone at all when it dries. And it blends into the paint so smoothly. There's no like silicone. I have used silicone in the past. It just kind of sits on top of the paint and makes like a film on top of the paint. This just, look, it's already blended in there. It's so smooth. There's nothing, I can't think of anything negative yet about Penetrol. When the paint dries, there's nothing to wipe off. You can just varnish it immediately. You can wipe it with a baby wipe if you want to get dust off of it, but you don't have to. Like with silicone, you have to really clean your paintings before you can varnish them to get all the silicone off, or the varnish won't adhere to the surface of your painting. But with this, you don't have to do anything like that. As soon as it dries, it's good to go. I love it. And I learned that from Left Brain Artist. So I'm going to put links to his channel in the description box down below. And I'll also put one up here at this top left-hand corner. Sorry, that's my left. It's your right. The top right-hand corner. So that's one of my swipe colors. Just going to put a lid on it. And I'll just do the same process for the black whenever I do that one. I wanted to show you guys how I mix up just a regular paint, because I do need just paint. Okay. Okay, we'll start with, I got dioxazine purple and iridescent bright silver. I really like the silver, but I think I'm going to start with my purple. Okay, just like with the swipe color, I add some of my pouring medium first because it's easier to mix these thicker paints in if you already have some sort of liquid, some sort of pouring medium in the cup. Okay, right around 2. I'm going to add an ounce of this. It's the same ratio. It's 3 to 1. This is a really thick paint. So it's 3 parts of my pouring medium to 1 part paint. So this is going to be 3 ounces of pouring medium and 1 ounce of paint. So we're going to take this up to 3. Ooh, right on the money. That doesn't happen very often. Okay. I'm just going to mix this together. This is a really pretty color, dioxazine purple. And it's transparent, I think, or semi-transparent. Yeah, it's transparent. It says it right here. On the open square right there next to opaque. What did it say about light fastness? The light fastness has 2 stars. But one thing I do love about Liquitex, their gloss varnish, is that it has a UV protection in it. So if you put this, which I do, I varnish all my paintings with this once they're done, plus it's in the actual pouring medium, just to kind of help preserve the color and make it more UV resistant, fade resistant, so it'll last a lot longer. Okay, put 1 more ounce in here. Just went over just a little. It's all right. The only ones that I don't mix this way are the liquid acrylics. So like this is a liquid acrylic, and it's not a thick body acrylic like this one is. It's liquidy. See? You can hear it. It's still thick and it's very pigmented, but it's not really thick like this is super thick. That's not gonna, you can't shake that and hear it at all. It's just a paste. Those ones I mix a little bit differently. I probably put equal parts paint and pouring medium in those because they're more liquid. They just end up way too thin if I mix them this way. So this one I would put 2 ounces of the paint and 2 ounces of the pouring medium in. Okay, so there's my dioxazine purple. I usually have a marker on hand. Just a paint pen so that I know what I have in the... Oh, dang it. I'm telling you. Okay. So I'll just write dioxazine purple. Short for dioxazine purple. And then on this one, swipe. I'll put cell activator. I'll start using the same terms everyone else uses. I guess everyone else uses swipe. Cell activator, swipe. Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's how I mix up my pouring medium, which is Floetrol, Gloss Varnish, and Gloss Medium. Floetrol. Floetrol is messy already. And then my cell activator, which is my pouring medium, Amsterdam paint and 8 drops of Floetrol. I mean, Penetrol. I'm being stalked by cats. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Please don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Looking forward to it. Bye.